Hey guys, this is Francesca from consciousfultarot. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about the total lunar eclipse full moon in Scorpio. Now I know the full moon was about a day ago, however I'm here to describe and elaborate about the cosmic influence this lunar eclipse is going to have on the collective. This full moon is also known as the Buddha moon or blood moon because the significant placement calls for massive transformation. It's meant to accelerate one towards enlightenment, such as Siddhartha Gautama once did. Siddhartha Gautama had to go through many rebirths and deaths, and he sacrificed many aspects that were important to him, such as his needs and identity, in order to reach a state of nirvana. The full moon is literally giving the collective an opportunity to reach a level of self-awareness and enlightenment. So let's go a little bit into the lunar eclipse. So it is conjunct in the south node, which is not such a typical lunar eclipse. It's honestly about addressing our past, including karma of our current and past lives. The south node is kind of like a compass guiding us to transcend the dense challenges and karma that we're here to transmute on planet Earth. Now, it requires us to take a good look at our limitations and to close the doors on chapters of our lives and asking us to release something that we're attached to, including conditioning, programming, old habits, false identities, limited beliefs, old perceptions, automatic behaviors derived from culture, childhood, and even our past lives. And there's more to that. What this placement is also influencing humanity and you as an individual is to revisit your past, to release repressed emotions that hinders your emotional growth and fulfillment, in order to also align you with your destiny and your north node compass, which is your soul's mission and your calling. So the south node lunar eclipse is also profound because this placement will be influential for the next 2 to 3 years, meaning that we're literally being called to follow our star, to follow our destiny. And as a collective, we're being asked and urged by the divine and spirit to awaken our foresight and illuminate our shadow and the unconscious mind that has been blindly navigating us and humanity. This special eclipse will make it impossible to stay the same or to keep operating in the same level of consciousness, or shall I say unconsciousness. The full moon in Scorpio itself is already super profound and maximizes massive transformation, since the full moon in Scorpio for me is really all about massive transformation. To me, it feels like ego deaths, but unfortunately, it's also about souls that need to transition at that time. My dog in 2019 passed away in a full moon in Scorpio. However, I believe that he transitioned to be one of my spirit guides to this day. This full moon also magnifies rapid and undeniable change, causing lots of unexpected change, good or bad, but rest assured it is for your higher good. On a spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental level, there will be massive changes in order to reach a new level of self-empowerment. Typically, during a full moon in Scorpio, you are faced with uncomfortable truths, or there can be exposures that lead to great change. However, rest assured, these changes will lead to unraveling and shattering old conditionings and programs that no longer suit you or the collective as a whole. Now, in fact, the lunar eclipse full moon in Scorpio will be so evident in its influence that it will weigh down the old ways of being, and it's going to urge us all to call on our boundaries with others, with ourselves, and have the courage to end cycles that no longer work for us. As a collective, we're breaking through being in fear, complying, being submissive to authority, or being submissive to our abusers, or even to our inner opposer. On an individual level, this is asking for us to break free from things that we were enabling, whether others' mistreatment, others' abuse, or our own self-negligence, self-sabotage, or self-abuse. Now, it's going to be super important to have the courage to end old cycles that no longer work for you. As a collective, if we do not let go, we could drown. And that's why I'm really highlighting the importance of this, because it is in fact a judgment call for many who are living in a livelihood that may be endangering their lives, such as addictions, underlying health issues, negative habits, reckless behaviors. you have to understand that if you have people in your lives, or you yourself have reckless behaviors or habits that no longer serve you, and you know that they're weighing you down, these habits must be halted in order for you to literally make it into your future and fulfill your destiny. So let's get a little bit brighter now. The full moon will shine a silver light into the darkness, and it's going to be shedding the old, which will begin a new cycle for yourself. New experiences, a new belief system will be ushering into your mind that's going to literally transform your reality, because whatever you believe, you will perceive into this reality. And one of the laws of the universe is the law of correspondence. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. What you believe is what you will see. Now, there also will be a feeling that you're beginning to tap into a new identity. You're going to be self-identifying with new things and new beliefs. So you're no longer going to be identifying yourself with your old beliefs, or the old way you used to think, or the old way you used to carry yourself, because it no longer is going to resonate with you. It's going to all fall away. Now, these new beliefs are going to be serving a new perception that is going to be deeply rooted in the truth of your potential. The old ways that collective has been operating in has been very automatic, has been very toxic, has been a Scorpion way. The full moon in Scorpio is highlighting the old ways of being, and that's why it's a full moon, because it's ending that old way of being. The Scorpio ways that we've been operating have been very toxic, very intense. And I also see that this old formula has influenced us to react extremely. The way that we processed emotions, especially in relationships or when it comes to money, was very radical, impulsive, intense. It feels as though collective for a while, for the past 5 years, 2 years, has been operating in a way that was very radical and extreme, because we always felt as though we needed changes in order to bring something new into our lives. But it was the act of changing that was creating an insane cycle, because we kept going back to a new beginning and then ending things, and then only ending up exactly where we once started or where we once didn't want to be. So it seems as though this full moon is highlighting that for us, like magnifying that importance of taking a new approach. And it believes, and I believe that also old beliefs are going to be shattering, because we're going to be realizing that the old beliefs are not really giving us the truth or the clarity that we need in order to exceed, or in order to attain some sort of clarity or closure that we're intending to receive. The Scorpion energy before was also very intense and reactive. Although it was very intuitive and sensitive, it was also very self-destructive and self-critical in nature, which influenced us to constantly want to please our environment or even our past selves, keeping us in a comfort zone. This insanity cycle of ending and starting again, or eliminating things and people to end and begin a new cycle, never gave us the results or outcome we wanted. So now what's being highlighted is that we're being called to go in a new direction, and our north node is being highlighted. Our north node right now as a collective is in Taurus, and Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio. Taurus is very stable. Taurus is very not wanting to change. Taurus, when it comes to relationships, they're very loyal, committed. This energy influences us to be extremely dependable and self-reliant, rather than the codependent or needy such as Scorpion energy. And I do see that also now that the sun is highlighting our destiny and the lunar eclipse is on our north node. Taurus is going to be influencing us, and we're going to be able to really surrender to the old ways of being, rather than slandering ourselves or allowing other people to slander us, or accepting mistreatment, accepting instability for our lives. We're now going to also be using our resources, especially when it comes to money, what we have. We're no longer going to be getting loans or expecting things from people, or or using our credit in order to purchase things. It seems as though we're now going to be more responsible. We're going to be influenced to be very practical with our finances and use the little things in order to create big things, in order to create stability for ourselves and our legacy for the future. I also see in relationships, the old Scorpion ways was very combative, was also very power hungry. In relationships, there was a need to always have the upper hand or react reactively to gain some sort of power. And Taurus is very fair. Taurus deals with higher calling and constructive criticism. So now when it comes to relationships, we're going to be able to see our own faults and take accountability easier than we did in the past, and we're going to be able to see our shadow more clearly because we're going to have an understanding of our own self-awareness, and we're going to be able to self-discover aspects of ourselves that the Scorpion energy kind of blinded us to, because the Scorpion energy was just wanting to win and just wanting to lead with that negative emotion and keep that hostility and grudge. But now I see that we're going to be transforming as a collective. We're going to be able to also, as a collective and a humanity and society, we're going to be able to forgive those in power that possibly abused our love, possibly abused our money. And I do see people in power potentially helping the collective in order to combat the dark forces that are trying to deplete the collective consciousness. And it's going to take a lot of responsibility from everyone, from you, from your family, from groups, from society, from countries, to really get together to surrender the old ways of being, to surrender the old operating ways, to surrender the old level of consciousness, to surrender the old perceptions and the old conditioning of relying on authority, relying on health, quote unquote, health officials in order to give us the answers that we need in order to achieve health and wellness. And it does seem as though even though we may still feel a little bit stuck or confused or a little bit scattered or impatient as to when or how this is going to happen, it does seem as though Divine is going to orchestrate the events so we can rise up as a collective, so we can gain that strength and that courage to really combat these dark forces and really come out on the other side into that fifth dimension, that 5D consciousness that we're all really beginning to ascend into. And I'm here to ask you a few things. And one of the things I want you guys to reflect on, because what the collective and what the Divine is needing to understand right now is the bigger picture. And what Spirit is wanting to ask the collective is, what is keeping you stuck from achieving your greatest timeline? And this influential lunar eclipse in the South Node, in the full moon in Scorpio, is highlighting what is keeping you stuck from achieving your greatest timeline. So you already know the answer. If not, tune into yourself and ask yourself that. But another question I'm going to ask you to reflect on is, what do you need to release in order to see yourself more clearly? In order to tap into your principles, your morality, your core truth, your soul's truth. And what part of yourself do you need to embrace or integrate in order to show up in the world authentically, in order to achieve a level of self-mastery to produce the best possible timeline for yourself? Now, let me tell you, my friends, Consciousful Tarot fam, we are ascending. This conjunction feels and reminds me of the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction because it was so profound. That conjunction was so profound because on a DNA level, we literally transcended carbon DNA, and we transcended our carbon DNA to crystalline DNA. And it just so happens that the dark forces or the people in power attempting to lower the consciousness of humanity, During that time of December 2020, when the conjunction did happen, guess what rolled out? That pointy thing that goes into your arm, including mRNA technology. That is meant to minimize your DNA, alter your DNA, minimize your level of consciousness. Now, I am not one to question, but I am one to fight back. And I am one to always really see the truth, lead with the truth, even if it may or may not disappoint others. Now, I want you to ask yourself, if at this very moment our DNA is going from carbon to crystalline, just at the same time that our DNA was going from carbon to crystalline in December 2020, you are needing to surrender things that no longer serve you in order to ascend your DNA, in order to ascend your level of consciousness so you can reach your highest potential. Anything that no longer serves you will be shedded out of your life, will be shattered. Old beliefs will be shattered. Old limited beliefs will be shattered in order for you to propel and catapult yourself towards your new beginning. But it's not about ending things or taking people out of your life. It's really just about stepping into your being and becoming, not thinking, but becoming who you desire to become. And with that being said, my beloveds, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this reading. You can always book your personal reading at consciousfultarot.com. I'll leave the link below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Like this video, comment if you please, and book your reading. I specialize in love and relationships, career and finances, spiritual and life path. You could also check me out on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll love to talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye now.